What if I told you that the wealthiest families in the world don't just focus on making money? They focus on making legacy. Did you know that 70% of wealthy families lose their fortune by the second generation and 90% lose it by the third? But what if you could be the one who breaks this cycle? What if your family could be the exception? Today, I'm sharing the exact blueprint the top 1% use to build wealth that lasts for generations. This isn't about getting rich quick, it's about staying rich forever. If you're serious about creating lasting wealth for your family, smash that like button right now and hit subscribe to join our financial freedom community. Turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly wealth-building strategies. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into how the truly wealthy, not just the rich, build fortunes that last for centuries. Let me be clear, building generational wealth is not about hoarding money. It's about creating systems that generate value across time and establishing principles that guide your family through prosperity and adversity. Today's video is probably the most important I've ever made. We're going to cover the 7 pillars of generational wealth that nobody talks about, including the 3 critical mistakes that cause most families to lose everything. But first, let me share a quick comparison between 2 typical family wealth journeys. The first pillar might surprise you. It's not about money at all. It's about transforming how you think about money. Wealthy families don't have a scarcity mindset. They operate from abundance. They don't see money as something to spend, but as a tool to deploy. They don't work for money, they make money work for them. Here are the 3 mindset shifts you need to make today. First, adopt the investor mentality. This means evaluating every purchase by asking, is this an asset or a liability? An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. The middle class buys liabilities thinking they're assets. Second, embrace delayed gratification. Studies show this single trait predicts financial success better than almost any other factor. Wealthy families think in decades, not days. Third, shift from consumer to producer. Most people consume value, the wealthy create it. Ask yourself daily, am I creating or consuming? This simple question will transform your financial trajectory. Pillar number 2. The average millionaire has 7 income streams. But here's what's crucial. These aren't just any income streams. They follow a specific pattern that I call the wealth pyramid. At the foundation, you have your active income, your job, or primary business. But true generational wealth comes from building these next 3 levels. Level 2 is passive income from cash-flowing assets. This includes rental properties that generate monthly income, dividend-paying stocks, and bonds. The key here is consistency. These assets pay you whether you work or not. Level 3 is appreciation-based assets. These are investments that grow in value over time. Growth stocks, real estate in appreciating markets, and private equity. While they don't provide immediate cash flow, they build substantial wealth over decades. Level 4, and this is what separates the truly wealthy, is ownership and royalty income. This includes businesses you own but don't operate, intellectual property, patents, and licensing deals. These assets can continue generating wealth for generations. The critical strategy is this: use your active income to buy passive income assets. Use passive income to acquire appreciating assets. Then use both to build ownership assets. This is how you create an unstoppable wealth machine. Pillar number 3. Now we're getting to where the magic happens. Most people think diversification means stocks and bonds. The truly wealthy think in terms of assets and asset classes. Let me show you the exact asset allocation model used by families whose wealth has survived multiple market crashes, wars, and economic depressions. First, the 20-30-50 rule. Allocate 20% to inflation-proof assets like gold, silver, and inflation-protected securities. These protect your purchasing power during economic turbulence. Next, 30% goes to cash-flowing assets that generate income regardless of market conditions. This includes dividend aristocrats, companies that have increased dividends for 25 years straight, rental real estate in stable markets, and corporate bonds. The remaining 50% is your growth engine, divided into 3 categories: publicly traded equities, private market investments, and what I call future-proof assets, those positioned to benefit from major technological and social trends. But here's the critical insight. The wealthy don't just diversify assets. They diversify tax treatment. They balance taxable, tax-deferred, and tax-free accounts strategically. This creates flexibility during retirement and maximizes wealth transfer to the next generation. Pillar number 4. Warren Buffett famously pays a lower tax rate than his secretary. Is this because he's cheating? Absolutely not. It's because he understands that it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. Here are the 5 legal tax structures that preserve family wealth across generations. First, entity structuring. The wealthy rarely own valuable assets in their personal names. Instead, they use LLCs, family limited partnerships, and corporations strategically. This provides asset protection and tax advantages that individual ownership doesn't. Second, timing strategies. This includes tax loss harvesting, strategic Roth conversions, and charitable remainder trusts. These techniques allow you to control when you recognize income and losses. Third, generational transfer techniques. Tools like irrevocable trusts, dynasty trusts, and intentionally defective grantor trusts let you transfer wealth with minimal tax implications while maintaining certain controls. Fourth, business tax strategies. These include home office deductions, hiring family members, and strategic retirement planning through business entities. Every dollar saved in taxes is a dollar that can compound for generations. Finally, geographic arbitrage. The wealthy strategically use multiple jurisdictions, both domestically and internationally, to optimize their tax situation legally. Remember, tax avoidance, which is legal, is not tax evasion, which is illegal. Working with qualified professionals to implement these strategies is essential. Pillar number 5. Did you know that 90% of billionaires got there through business ownership? Not through saving, not through real estate, through creating or acquiring businesses. But here's the key. Most miss. The truly lasting family businesses evolve from physical assets to intellectual property. Let me break this down. First-generation wealth often comes from providing a service or product directly. This requires active management and has limited scalability. Second-generation wealth evolves to systems and processes, franchising, licensing, and creating turnkey operations that can be replicated. This is where scale begins. Third-generation wealth focuses on brand equity and intellectual property. The most valuable companies today don't produce physical goods. They own ideas, patents, trademarks, and proprietary technologies. This evolution doesn't happen by accident. It requires intentional planning and development of 4 key business assets: systems that work without the owner's presence, intellectual property that can be protected and monetized, brand equity that commands premium pricing, and recurring revenue models that provide stability. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, ownership of private businesses should be part of your wealth strategy through private equity, direct investment, or acquisition of existing operations. Pillar number 6. This is the secret ingredient most wealth advisors never talk about. How do you ensure your family doesn't become the shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations statistic? The wealthiest families in the world all have these 4 governance structures in place. First, a family constitution. This written document outlines your family's mission, values, and vision. It establishes guidelines for how family members interact with the family wealth, including qualifications for accessing funds, expectations for education, and guidelines for joining family businesses. Second, regular family meetings. These structured gatherings include financial education, reporting on family assets, and discussing important decisions. They begin when children are young and evolve in complexity as they mature. Third, a family council. This is a decision-making body that includes representatives from different branches and generations of the family. It creates accountability and ensures wealth decisions serve the entire family's interests, not just one generation or individual. Fourth, mentorship systems. The wealthy don't just leave education to schools. They create intentional pathways for the next generation to learn wealth management, often through apprenticeships, involvement in philanthropy, and graduated responsibility over assets. The families that maintain wealth for 100+ years invest as much in family governance as they do in financial management. Without these structures, even the best investment strategy will eventually fail. The final pillar is perhaps the most crucial. How do you ensure your descendants are stewards of wealth, not just consumers of it? Studies show that families who do these 3 things raise financially responsible heirs who build upon their legacy rather than depleting it. First, intentional financial education. This isn't just about teaching budgeting and investing. It's about helping children understand the purpose of wealth. Wealthy families often create money milestones, age-appropriate financial responsibilities and privileges that build competence over time. Second, shared purpose through philanthropy. Family foundations and giving circles teach the next generation to use wealth for impact, not just consumption. Research shows that families who give together stay wealthy together because it creates a shared purpose beyond material accumulation. Third, values-based inheritance structures. The wealthy don't simply give unearned wealth. They create structures that reward alignment with family values. This includes incentive trusts, matching funds for entrepreneurship, and education grants tied to personal development. Remember this critical insight. The goal isn't to raise rich kids, it's to raise capable, purposeful adults who happen to have resources. There's a profound difference. Building generational wealth isn't a short-term game. It's about playing the long game. It's about making decisions today that your great-grandchildren will thank you for. Remember, wealth is created in days, weeks, and months, but fortunes are built over decades and generations. These 7 pillars form the foundation of generational wealth that can transform your family's financial future for decades to come. If this video helped you think differently about building lasting wealth, smash that like button. It really helps the channel reach more families who need this information. Hit subscribe and the notification bell to join our wealth-building community. Next week, we're diving deep into the exact investment vehicles the ultra-wealthy use to protect their assets during economic downturns. Drop a comment below with your biggest takeaway from today's video. I personally read and respond to as many comments as possible. Until next time, remember, true wealth isn't just about your bank account, it's about your legacy. Music, signature outro theme.